Hello everyone. So in this lecture we will be discussing about the DP solution for the subset sum problem. In the earlier solution what we saw, we had a naive approach, and what were we actually doing in that case? We were actually creating each and every subset from the given number of elements and checking whether do I have a sum of 7 or not. Look, what we were doing actually, what was this path over here? This path was I made use of 7, then what I made use of, I again made use of 2, I again made use of 3, I again made use of 4. So what was this path signifying? This path signified a subset. This path signified a subset of 1, 2, 3, 4. And what path this thing signify? This thing signified I made use of a 1, I made use of a 2, I made use of a 3, but I didn't make use of 4. So what was this path signifying? This path was signifying a subset of 1, 2, 3. And look, I am left with 1. What is the sum of 1, 2, 3? It's 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 1, 6. And hence I am left with a amount of 1 over here. Because what was I trying to achieve? I was trying to achieve a sum of 7. So with the help of this subset, I included 1 over here. So what was I left with? I was left with 6. I included 2 again. Then what was I left with? I was left with 4. I again included 3. So what was I left with? I was left with only 1. 4 minus 3, 1. But I didn't include 4. So I didn't include it. So again what I'm left with? 1. But by that point I was already out of my bounds. I didn't have even a single element now. So hence this subset or this path represents a subset of 1, 2, 3. The same way, what is this subset, this path represent? Look, this path represents I took a 1, then I took a 2, but I didn't take 3, but I took 4. So I took a 1. What does this path say? I took a 1, that's why I'm left with 6. Then I took a 2, that's why I'm left with 4. Then I didn't take 3. Otherwise, if I would have taken 3, then I would have left with 1 over here. But I am again left with 4. So I didn't include 3. Didn't include 3 because look, what was the index I was having? I was having an index of 2 over here. I am having an index of 3 over here. But the sum which I am trying to have is same, 4 and 4. So, but over here, what do I see? I made use of the element present in index 3, and hence I included 4. What do I have at element 3 or index 3? I have a 4 over here. That's why I am left with 0. Hence, what does this path signify? This path signifies a subset of 1, 2 and 4. 1, 2, 4. And what does 1, 2 plus 4 sum up to? It sums up to 7. And hence, my answer was true in this case. So, the number of trues you get in your leaf nodes is the total number of subsets which sum up to 7. So each and every path again is actually a subset. So how many recursive call did we have over here, and what was our runtime complexity? It was 2 to the power n. And why 2 to the power n? Because how many subsets do we have for a set? Suppose I have 4 elements. So how many subsets do I have? I have 2 to the power n subsets. So I would have made 2 to the power n recursive calls just to create each and every subset, and hence my runtime of this naive solution was exponential. Now, how do we convert this exponential to a polynomial time algorithm? So we would be taking a look onto that approach. And again, you know that we would be applying dynamic programming, but how do we apply it actually? And how does it matter in such a way that it just reduces the time complexity to such an extent? Now, we would be making use of tabulation over here. Again, you can easily make use of memoization, but we would be making use of tabulation over here. In memoization, you would be again having 2 to the power n recursive calls, but you would be creating a structure, or more importantly, you might make use of a hash map to store the answers or the computed values to already computed problems, such that if you have overlapping sub problems, so you would be making use of the already computed problems, and you wouldn't be recursing for that for that overlapping subproblems further, and hence you would be saving time over there. But in the case of tabulation, we just try to make our solution from bottom up approach. And what do you mean by bottom up? Bottom up means that I would be starting with my base cases. I would be starting with my leaf nodes, and I will make my way through to the top, to the root node. And what is a root node in this recursive tree? It is the intended solution which I need. So coming on to this matrix, what does these rows signify and what does these columns signify? These columns are actually the amounts which I can have. Okay, now what would be recursing for over here? I was saying that I am starting with the index 1, or index 1 over here means 2. So just tell me, starting from this index till end of the array, can I make a sum of 6? So I was approaching this problem over here. Can I make a sum of 6 with any of the subsets of these 3 elements? Can I make it? Yes, we can make it. So what we were doing, this part of the recursive tree was actually creating subsets for these 3 numbers and checking that whether do I have any subset which sum up to 6 or not. And if it sum up to 6, then yes, we could return true. If you want to see, then look, suppose this is our root node. We were initially asked this problem. Each and every sub problem states that suppose I am having just these problems, just tell me with the remaining elements, can I make the remaining sum or not? So again, what does this sub problem say? This sub problem says that currently I am sitting at index 1. So starting from this index till end of the array, can I make a 6 or not? So if I make use of the element present at index 1, so it is 2. So what would I be left with? I would be left with a sum of 4. Then I do not, again, then I have to make a choice. Do I add the element present at index 2 or I do not? Suppose I do not add it. So what am I left with again? Then I am left with an element of 4 over here, because what is present at index 3? It is 4. So what does this subproblem say? This subproblem says that I am left with just a single element because there is nothing after 3. So starting from index 3 till end of the array, it's only a single element. Can I make a sum of 4 or not? So can I make sum of 4 or not? Or is there any subset present for this element which sums up to 4 or not? So I need to return a boolean. Is it possible or not? So how many subsets do I have? How many elements do I have? First of all, I have single element. So how many subsets we would be having? We would be having 2 to the power n subsets, where n signifies the total number of elements we are having. So 2 to the power 1 is 2. So we would be having 2 subsets over here. One subset would be 4 and other subset would be a null set. Now, can I make 4 with any of these 2 subsets? Yes, I can sum up this thing and I can have a 4. And hence I return true over here. So what was this problem? This problem stated this thing. Can I make a 6 with the help of 2, 3, 4? So the answer was true. Why? Because I could have chosen a subset of 2 and 4 over here to create a sum of 6. The same way, I would be recursing for making use of these elements. Suppose if I make a use of 1, so I would be left with 6. I make a use of 3, then I would be left with 4. I make a use of 5, then I would be left with 2. So I need all those amounts what I was recursing for all those sub problems. I need each and every amount till 7 starting from 0, and hence this is my column. This column signifies all those things. Now what are these rows? These rows are nothing but the array which we are given. These would be we would be creating subsets out of these elements, and we would be searching that whether these sub problems are present there or not, or can we make can we have a sum with any of the subsets which equals to these sub problems or not. So I think it would be clear. So what does these rows signify and what does these columns signify? If you wanna see it once again, just rewind it and have a clear look, because this would be quite important while populating our DP matrix. Look, dynamic programming is just not for populating the DP matrix. We just need to know each and every subproblem which we are recursing for and how to convert those subproblems into a cell present in the DP matrix. Now suppose, what does this subproblem mean? This, I am talking about this node. This node says that I have a zero amount to be made. I have a zero amount to be made from zero elements in the array. From zero elements in the array. This subproblem means this thing. This node, what I mean to say. Now, what does this node means? The intersection of this one and this zero. So, row number 1 and column number 0, what does that intersection means? That intersection means that I have an element of 1 with me. Just tell me, can I create a sum of 0 from these elements or not? So, do I have any subset of these elements which sum up to 0? So, do I have? Yes, I have. What are the subsets for 1? 1 and a null set. So, if I sum up my null set, what would I be having? I would be having a 0. Hence, the answer to the sub problem where I do have a single element with me and I need to make a 0 sum out of it. So, the answer would be true. Again, what is the intersection of this 2 and this 0 means? What does this cell node means? This matrix node? This matrix node means that I have 2 elements with me. So, what would be, how many subsets would I be having? I would be having 4 subsets and null set would be one of the subsets. So, can I make 0 out of any of the subsets of 1 and 2? Yes, I can make it. Again, with the help of null subset, I can make a 0. What does this subproblem mean? The intersection of this row number 3 and column number 0. It means this thing, that I do have 3 elements with me. So, is there any possibility that any of the subsets of this set 1 to 3 can sum up to 0? Can I do it or not? Yes, I can do it. So, again, the answer to this subproblem would be true. So, and what does this subproblem mean? This subproblem, the intersection of row 4 and column 0. What does that problem mean? That subproblem means that I have 4 elements with me. Just tell me, can I create a sum of 0 out of it or not? Or do I have any subset from these 4 elements which sum up to 0? So yes, again I have a null set which will sum up to 0 and hence again the answer would be true. So I can easily say the answer would be true in all these cases. And what were these? These were my base cases. Okay, what we used to do when I had a 0, when my remaining sum was 0. What does this subproblem means? This subproblem means that I have a remaining sum of 0 with me now. My intended subproblem is 7. I need to make amount of 7. But at some point in my recursive calls, I would have reached a subproblem where the amount which is need to be made is 0. So, and how did I reach over there? I would have only reached 0 only if any of these subsets have already sum up to 7. So, this was my base case and hence I returned true over here. So, look, with the help of all these base cases, we would be creating our DP matrix and with the help of this reconciliation, we would be populating it. So, again, in the case of tabulation, we follow a bottom-up approach and hence I filled my one base case. Now, what does this thing mean? This thing means that I have a sum of 1, but I do not have anything with me. I am out of my elements. I do not have even a single element now. Now, what shall I do then? Can you ever make a sum of 1 out of any of the subsets where no element is present? I do not. What does this 0 signify? This 0 signifies that I do not have any element with me. So, I do not have any element with me, but I need to make a sum of 1. Can you ever do it? Do any of the subsets of an empty set comes out to be 7? No, I can never have it. So, what would I be doing? I would be having a false over here. Again, what does this subproblem mean? The intersection of row 0 and column 2. This means that I have a sum of 2 left with me till now, but I am out of my elements. So, what is the sum? Look, you are out of the elements, but you do have some sum left with you. So can you ever make a subset of a null set such that it sums up to 2? No, you cannot make it, and hence the answer to this problem would be again false. What about this thing? This thing means that I have a sum of 3 left with me, but I do not have any subset with me. I do not have any elements left with me. So what is the answer to this problem? It's again false. So can you see the same thing will happen for this 4 as well? Same thing will happen for this as well. Same thing will happen for this as well, and same thing will happen for this as well. So what does this subproblem say? Last one, that I am at my 7th column and the intersection of means 7th column and 0th row. It says that I have a sum of 7, but I do not have any element left with me. So can I make a sum of 7 out of any of the subsets of a null set? No, I can never make it. So this would be false again. And what is this base case? What is this base case? This is this one. Not sorry, this only these false I am talking about. It is this base case. What was this current index greater than equal to size signifying? Why did I return false over here in this recursive tree? What does this 4 signify? This 4 signifies that I am out of bound of my array. And when did I reach out of bound? Because I already made use of all the elements present in my array. That's why I would have reached out of bound. So what does this signify? That I have no elements left with me, but I still have a sum of 1 left with me. It was this subproblem. I still have a sum 1 left with me, but I do not have any of the elements left with me. So what was I returning? I was returning false. Why? Because I cannot make 1 out of any of the subsets of a null set. This subproblem signified that thing, and I returned false from this thing. So I populated these base cases with the help of these recursive calls. So how do we fill all these in the matrix? So we will look at that now in a code. Now what do we see over here? This is the method which would be returning true or false, whether the sum k is present as the sum of any of the subsets of the elements present in the array R, and this size represents the total number of elements we have in the array. Now these are the rows and columns. I have initialized the rows and columns. Again, I told you what are the rows and columns and how many of them would be present, and actually what do they signify. Now what is this? We are initializing our DP matrix and we have allocated it memory. Now we start our DP matrix from here, and what are these? These are base cases. And what does this line say? This line says that just put my first column as true. Just put all the contents of my first column as true. And I think we have discussed it already, why all these things are true over here. Now in the second case, what we are doing? We are filling up our first row as false except the element present at 0, 0. And that's what we have done over here. And why we have done, again we have discussed it already. Now this is the loop which these are the two nested loops which would be filling our DP matrix or the remaining of our DP matrix. And how do we fill it? We will discuss it now. Look, what does this subproblem mean? This subproblem means that I have an element 1 with me in the array. Sorry, I have an element 1 with me in the array and I need to make a sum of 1. So can I do it? Yes, I can directly do it because I can easily see that these both elements are same. Okay, I will give you an example over here. If I ask you, can I make sum of 4 with any of the subsets of this set? Yes, I can do it. Why? Because I can easily see that I do have a 4 over here directly. So is 4 a subset of this set? Yes, it is. We can make 4 again with a subset of 1 and a 3 as well. But if I do not even go over there, I can directly see that I have a 4 over here. So what I can do is, I can easily say that if I make use of this element, so what I would be left with, what are the cases which I am talking about? I am talking about this scenario. If I am left with, if I make use of this element, so what am I left with? I am left with the elements 1, 2 and 3. And what is the sum which I am left with? I am left with the sum of 0. And if I am left with the sum of 0, then it means that I already got a subset which sums up to the amount which I was asking. Hence this would be true over here. So what we can do is that if we see these two elements as same, again, why these two? Because the element present in the array currently is equal to the sub problem or the amount of sum left we are asking. It means that I am left with a sum of 1 and I have an array of 1. Okay, so it says this thing that I have a 1 in my array and I am left with a sum of 1. So can I make 1 with any of the subsets present in this set? Yes, I can make. So it would be true over here. Now what does this subproblem mean? This subproblem means that you have 1 over here in the array, but you need to make a leftover sum of 2. So can you make it? So we need to branch out over here. And how do we need to branch out? With the help of this reconciliation. And what do we used to do? Suppose we in this case, what do we have? We have a 1 and we need to make a sum of 2. So how do we branched out earlier? We branched out by once by including the element 1 and once by not including it. So if I include the element 1 over here, so what would I be left with? What is the remaining array? It's an empty array, but what would I be left with in my leftover sum? It would be 1. Or if I do not include it, then it would be this case. So what does this case means? This case means that look, I have the remaining elements as an empty set, but I still need to make a leftover sum of 2. So can I do it? Which of the matrix cell represents this case? This case, this 0 and 2. This case is signified by this cell matrix. Oh, by this matrix cell. So what does it state? It states false. No, I cannot make it. I cannot make a 2 with any of the subsets where the set itself contains 0 elements. Now what does this mean? This means that I have an empty set. So can any of the subsets of this empty set be equivalent to 1, or the sum of any of the subsets of this empty set be equivalent to 1? So where can I see this problem in my matrix? Again, I have no element, but I still have a sum of 1 left. Yes. So again, the answer to this is false. And what were we doing? We were saying if any of these becomes true, then the answer to this subproblem would be true. But in this case, both of them are false. So what do? We put a false over here. Now what does this subproblem mean? This subproblem means that look, I am left with a sum of 3, or I am left with a sum of 3, but I have an array in which I have only single element left with me, or I have left with 1 in my array. So what does this say? This says that I am left with a single array, single element in my array. I need to make a sum of 3. So is there any subset of this set which sums up to 3 or not? So again, how do we do it? We first include the element present in the array and then we do not include it. We take OR of those both, and if any one of them comes out to be true, then the answer to this subproblem would be true. So how do I do it? If I include the element present in my array, so what would I be left with? I would be left with 2 as my leftover sum, but I have 0 as my remaining elements because I have only one element over here. But if I do not include it, then what would I be left with? I would be left with one less element in the array, but I would be left with my total sum because I did not include the element, and hence my total sum would be passed the same way. So what do I do over here? I need to check if what do these subproblems return, and I would be taking OR of it. So where in the matrix can I find this subproblem? This subproblem means an empty set. So my first row signifies the empty set. And where will I find a leftover sum of 2? I will find a leftover sum of 2 over here. So what is the answer to this subproblem? This subproblem answers false. Where will I see this thing? An empty set, but a leftover sum of 3, So what is the answer to this subproblem? It's again false. Hence, if I take OR of them, or I would be ORing these both, so the answer to this subproblem again becomes false. The same way we would be populating all of our DP matrix. But where will I get my intended question or intended problem. What was my intended problem? That given all these 4 elements, I need to make a sum of 7. So where will I get it? I will get it over here. What does this node represent? This node represents that I have all my elements I need to make a sum of 7. So what would I be left with? If I include the element present over here, so what would I be left with? I would be left with 1, 2, 3 and 3, because if I include it, then I would be deducting this value from the leftover sum, and if I do not include it, then what would I be left with? I would be left with this thing. I would be taking all of these both, and that would be my answer. So where in the matrix will I find this? It would be here, 1, 2, 3. I have an array of these 3 and I need to make a sum of 7. So that would be this cell. And where will I find this cell? It would be here. That I have 3 elements with me, but just tell me, can I make sum of 3 with all these remaining elements or not, or whether all these 3 elements or not. So I would be ORing this subproblem, the intersection of 4th row and 4th column and 4th row and 8th column, and the answer to this intersection, the intersection of 5th row and 8th column would be ORing these both, and hence I would be getting my answer. So ORing 1, 2, 3, 7 and 1, 2, 3, 3 would be my answer to 1, 2, 3, 4 and 7. And hence you will be populating our DP matrix with this same way. Now coming on to the code, what do we see over here? If my j over here, suppose I will take this 4. Okay. If my j is less than array of I minus 1. And why am I doing array of I minus 1? Look, I would be starting with this row. And what is this? This is actually my first row. But in the array which I need to see where is 1 present, it is present at 0th index. And hence all these elements will be accessed by decrementing 1 from their respective rows. So if I am at 3rd row, it means I am accessing second element in my index, in my array. Second element, I mean to say the element present at index 2. So 0, 1, 2. So what does this 4 means, and how do I check, how do I search for this element in my array? What does this one? This is present as I would be 4 over here. But do I have anything as 4? No, I have 4 present at index 3, and hence I would be making use of I minus 1. The same thing I did over here. If j is less than array of I minus 1, if my j is less than array of I minus 1, so suppose if I take this 2, if 2 is less than 4, so it says this thing, that can I make a sum of 2 from any of the subsets present in this one? So I need to branch out, and how will I branch out? If I include this element 4, so what would I be doing? I would be left with 3 elements, but I would be left with a sum of -2 because I included this element 4, and by including, what I mean, I would be subtracting the value from 2, and hence I am left with -2 over here. And if I do not include it, then what will I ask? Just tell me whether with the remaining elements, is there any subset of this set which sums up to 2? So again, do I have anything in my matrix with a column of -2? No, I do not have it. So what is my answer dependent on? My answer is dependent on only this call, and that's what we wouldn't be ORing over here. The answer to 1, 2, 3, 4 would be equal to the answer of this thing. So if this is true, then the value of this subproblem would be true. If this is false, the value of this subproblem would again be false. The same thing I did over here. Otherwise, what would I be doing? I would be ORing both the conditions. I would be not including the element, or I would be including the element. And look, when I include the element, I just subtract the element present at the current index from the leftover sum j. And what does j represent? J represent the columns. And what are these? These are all the leftover sums over here. So what I would be doing, I would be subtracting the element present at the current index from the leftover sum. And then I would be asking, okay, just tell me whether in the remaining elements the leftover sum can be represented as any of the sum of the subsets or not. I would be ORing these both, and that would be my answer to the current node or the current subproblem. Now, what is this else? This else again means this thing, that if this one and this one are same, so do I need to even branch out? No, I can easily see that in the last element index, I can see that I have the element which is equal to the intended sum or the leftover sum. So I do not need to even branch out. Hence, I would be directly putting true over there. So this is the way to fill our left DP matrix. Now, what we would be returning over here, we would be returning the rows minus 1 and cols minus 1. And by that I mean to say this thing, I already discussed it with you. What does this problem mean? This is the main intended problem which we were asked. Hence we will be returning that. So if this problem says that states true over here, if we do have a true in this matrix cell, so what does it mean? It means that we have a sum of 7 as any one of the subsets of the elements 1, 2, 3, 4. And if the matrix cell says at false, then what does it mean? That we cannot create 7 out of any of the subsets present in 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we come back to the code, we can have a look at our matrix and its contents. So again, this first column and this first row was our base case. We populated our DP matrix, and this one states the intended subproblem. So what do we see over here? We have actually printed out the return value of this. So, and what did we return? We returned our DP matrix rows minus 1, cols minus 1. And hence, the return value of 1 states that yes, we could find 7 as the sum of a subset of 1, 2, 3, 4. So in the next lecture, we will be discussing about another problem. Till then, thank you.